Hi everybody, today we're going to be discussing the different classifications of organic molecules. Okay, we need to first of all start our discussion with what are R groups. Okay, R groups are carbon chains. So I don't know if you need to write this down or if you just need to understand what it is by watching, so you decide. So right here is a chain, it's going to be connected to something here, and it could be a CH2, CH2, CH3. That's an R group. Okay, so they're a hydrocarbon chain. That R group could represent something different also. It could just represent a CH3 group. It could also represent a big, huge, long group. And look at this, CH2, CH2. Hey, I want to draw out 3 more CH2, so I'm going to do a shortcut right now. Watch this. There's 3 more CH2s right there. That's a shortcut. Okay, and then I'll put a CH3 at the end. I like it when you're drawing out your molecules that you do draw them out all the way because it makes it more uniform for me for correcting, but I do have some problems where it will shorten up a whole bunch, okay, because it's hard to type. Anyway, so these all represent an R group. So like if you had an R group that was representing, it's got a hydroxyl group right here. This right here could be any size chain, okay, it could be any size chain. This could be any of these. It could be anything. If it's a polymer, it will go on for thousands, okay? Okay, so there's R group and there's R prime group. So this right here, what's important about this molecule here, we're not going to name it because we don't know what the R group is. But this is what's important, that OH group. It represents an alcohol. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that on the front side of the sheet in just a moment. So the R prime group is telling you, hey, this is different than the R group. So if we had something like this, R, and then an O for oxygen, and then we had an R prime, that means that this chain right here could be the same size or it could be different. So it could be a CH3, then an O, and then CH3 again, or CH3, O, CH2, CH3. Okay, what it's telling me is that the important thing of this, to identify this thing, and this is going to be an ether, we'll talk about that in a moment too, but what's important is what we're talking about. So this is when you're talking about the basics of a certain group, okay? And then you know that you can fill any kind of hydrocarbon chain in there based upon the name, okay? And so we don't know that, and it's saying that you don't know that, okay? So it's really a vague thing, but it's showing you the important piece in that structure. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on now to that sheet that you've got. Oops, not there. There we go. Okay, so alcohols all have that hydroxyl group on it. Now, where would we get this information? Okay, so on our Google Classroom, let me get there. In Google Classroom, I've got right here, text for a class, right here, organic classes, okay, and then you can go, keep on going till you can find your group. But the best thing about this book, like these are here halocarbons right here, the best thing about this book is that they've got these peach sections where it goes through elaborate detail telling you how to name them, and then it goes through examples with the answers, and that can help you do some problem solving to figure out how to draw it or else how to name it. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the alcohols, which is the second group in here, and it tells you that it's got a hydroxyl group on it. Okay, so the OH represents a hydroxyl group, and so I'm going to come up with a general formula, and I'll put that on that list here in just a moment. It's an ROH, and then it gives me, we're not going to worry about this year, primary, secondary, tertiary. We're not going to worry about that this year, okay, because we're running out of time. But how do you name the alcohols is what we need to worry about. Notice this OH, and there's a meth in front of it. So this is methanol, okay? And so we've heard of that before. Okay, here is ethanol, okay, because it's got an eth group in front of it. And then a propanol would have another CH2 group in there, wouldn't it? So that's how you name them, okay? And so again, it gives you those beautiful, look how they write it when it's condensed. They'll put a little parentheses and an OH behind it, meaning that it's located on that carbon, that third carbon there. Okay, so this book is so nice because again it gives you examples in peach, and I like that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my thing here. Okay, so the functional group for all alcohols is a hydroxyl group. Okay, and this is going to be an R and then an OH. Again, that R could be any size. Okay, and this right here might need a number in it. So if you look at this right here, this is actually rubbing alcohol, and it's got the OH on the middle. So you have to tell the person where that's located at. So it's going to be 2 dash, and then there's how many carbons? 3, so it's going to be a prop. And it's got all single bonds, so it's propan, and then OL. So the OL, when you see something that's got an OL on the end of it, now some of them may have an AL on the end of it, so you got to really look. If it's got OL on the end of it, it's an alcohol. Okay? If it did not have a number on the front of it, then that would mean that it would be attached to the first one. Okay? Any questions? Yes. What if they have double bonds? These ones won't. Okay? It would, and it would be a propanol, but we won't have that. Yes.
So with the R just represents the carbon chain.
Yes.
What about the R primes? I don't really understand.
Okay, it's just meaning that it could be a different length. So if you have, okay, like these ethers right here, this is an R, and there's an R prime. It could be the same lengths, or else it could be different. It does not need, if you wrote R-O-R, then it would have to be the same length.
So that's all that means?
That's all that means. Okay, so we're going to go back over here to now halocarbons. Halo means halogen. So it's a halogen that's stuck on a hydrocarbon chain. Okay, so we write an X for this, and then we know that this X means that the X could equal, fluorine, bromine, chlorine. Oops, I wrote the wrong symbol for that. What the heck? Okay, Cl, and then also it could be an iodine. The AT at the bottom, you don't need to worry about that one. Okay, so then this is going to be called Rx. Okay. Now there's another one that might need numbers. I'm telling you that a halocarbon is Rx, and X could represent any one of those halogens. Okay, might need numbers. Okay. So we'll go over here to this one. This one does need a number because it's not located on the first one. So what do you think that one's going to be? 2. And then we use chloro. We don't write out chlorine all the way. So chloro, C-H-L-O-R-O. Okay. And then it's just going to be plain old propane. So this little sheet that you have is really nice because it shows you the proper way of naming and an example of it. Okay, so that can really help. Yes?
Do we have to have a little hyphen?
We do need the hyphens between them. Okay, let's also get a little bit wild here. If we had 2 of them. Yes?
Like say, what would it be if it's like a bromine instead?
Okay, I'm going to do that right now. So let's say that this so you might want to put this on the back of your sheet. I don't know. Okay, let's say that we had this chlorine there and we have a bromine here. You need to go in alphabetical order. Okay, so this would be 2 bromo, and then it would be -2 chloro, and then it'd be just pentane.
What would be pentane?
Oh, propane. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, let's get really wild, and let's say that you had a pentane here, okay, and let's say we had 2 chlorines on it. Oh, let's do two iodines for something different, okay, so we'll put an iodine here and an iodine here. All the rest, oops, I was going to say all the rest are assigned H's, assumed, right? Okay. So, what do we think that this one would be named? 2, 3. How many iodines? So it's going to be diiodo. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then it would be pentane. So di is telling you that there's 2 iodines. They're located on carbons number 2 and carbon number 3, and they're both iodines. So it's fluoro, chloro, bromo, and iodo. Okay? So those are kind of fun. Okay, so I'm going to stop this video here, and then I'm going to have students look up the next 3 that's on our sheet, the esters and the aldehydes and the ketones, and then they're going to help me teach this here in a little bit, and hopefully we get that done in 4 minutes. Okay, the functional group for the ether. Okay, we got an oxygen group in there. Where is it located in your chain always? In the middle. So we'll go like this, okay? Because that's what all my things are going to look like. So then what does your general formula look like? Oxy means oxygen. That's in your name, right? Okay. So okay, so that's for naming. Okay, I'm so sorry I didn't come over there and look sooner. We're going to go like this, okay, and know that this guy right here is an oxy. Okay, so how will I name this thing? Oh, let me move it over there. Okay, so we got a methyl group right here, so it's a methane. Okay, and then the oxy. Ethane. Okay, and do you always name the shortest chain first? Yes. Okay, so every time that you see an oxygen that's in the middle and it's connecting 2 different R groups, they can be the same size or else they can be different. So like starting fluid is a methoxymethane. Okay, so it would have 1 less over here. Okay, every single time they'll just name the shortest chain first, and I think they usually do the pictures, the structures like that. Are we good? You guys good? Yeah. Okay, so then we'll go ahead. Any questions? No. Okay. Moving on to, okay, aldehydes. Tell me what you got.
It's H, so bonds. There's 2 bonds going to a carbon.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to draw that right there.
Yep.
Is that okay?
Yep.
And then we'll do it with an R group again.
RCHO.
Okay, and I'm going to tell that one too because they've got to see what you just talked about this. So remember alcohols were an OH on it. This right here would have a CHO on it, so it could be written either way with the R on the front. Okay?
And for naming of that would be, you would count the carbons, which is 3, so it would be prop, and
Prop?
it would be propanol, because instead of an ane, it'd be an
AL, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so any questions about that one? Okay, it's always at the end. And my ketones, you guys are always in the middle somewhere, aren't you? Okay, so this looks a lot alike. So what is this group here? Okay, so you're already starting on the next one. I'm not ready. So it's this right here. And this right here is going to be an R group, and that one's going to be an R group. So we'll write that down. R. I was trying to read your mind. And this could be the same size or not, so I'm going to put R prime there. That's not a double bond. That's not a double bond. There's the bond. This R prime. Okay, I ran out of room. Okay, and notice that this one isn't like an ether where the O is in the middle of the chain. It's in a carbonyl group on top. So how do I name this one? 2. So this one here, you have to have numbers in this one. Needs numbers. I said that backwards from what I wrote. Okay, needs numbers. And so this is, how do I spell this guy? Propanone. Prop. So there's like propane, right? But we've got to give that O-N-E on the end of it. Propanone. Okay, and that's how all the ketones are. Okay, so this right here is the ending for every ketone. Okay, just like yours had oxy in the middle of yours, and theirs has an Al at the end of theirs. Okay, so I'm running out of time, and that's where we are. See you when I see you.